Start recording, yes. Okay. All right, we should be live.
Okay, YouTube. Okay.
I have a pulse.
Yeah,
Okay.
we should be live, yes. And we in fact
Okay.
are.
So Charlie, you're okay. So Charlie, you're on YouTube, right?
No, I'm
Okay.
on Google Meet right now, but I am looking for, yeah, I see today's stream. I'm connecting to that, and I will listen for sound. And you guys get talking.
Okay. All right. So then we will begin. So welcome everybody who's here, ready to hear all about Apple, and welcome to our general meeting on May 13th, 2026.
I'm going to disrupt for a moment here.
Okay.
I think volume on YouTube is low for Steve and kind of low for like you and the rest of the audience.
All right,
All right.
I'll put them both up. All right, all right. Does that sound better for me?
It'll take a moment.
Yeah, got to go through the delay.
All right. Well, then we'll keep on going then. So anyway, Steve, what do you want to start with? Q&A, news?
I'm still setting things up here.
Okay, well, start when you're ready.
Steve, your sound is good.
Okay.
And Shirley sounds like she's in a large empty room. Don't know why.
It's a good thing I'm not going to do a lot of talking this meeting, so that's good.
Okay, save all.
Actually,
I'm in a large, not empty room.
I'm sorry. I just heard myself on the YouTube stream, and I sound like I'm in a big empty room too. I don't know what it's intelligible. You can make out what I'm saying. It just sounds like I'm in an echo chamber.
But you actually sound very good over the iPad, so.
Yeah, I agree. I can hear everybody.
When you say the iPad, you mean Google Meet on the iPad?
Yes, you have no, you sound perfectly fine.
Okay.
I hear that echo, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's kind of dramatic, I guess.
I think I know what it is. I'm feeding too many things into YouTube. So this is me, okay. And audio device. Yeah, that should be mixing the headphones. 2 ins and 2 outs. Now we're just getting noise.
Yeah, I'm getting that noise that we get all the time again. I can't figure out who it might be because I'm still on YouTube, which is delayed. So by the time I hear that noise, probably their tile won't look like they're talking or whatever.
There's still an echo.
I don't think the echo is going to interfere with people understanding what we're talking about. If you want to try going after it again later or something, I don't know.
All right. There's still an echo. Echo.
All right, well then,
Who
Steve,
is-
start with whatever you want to start with then.
Who is C. Hamby or Chamby?
That Dave?
Dave Chamberlain?
Yeah, it could be. I should look in the list of participants here.
All right, I have a multi-output aggregate and I have an aggregate.
Yeah, you can't tell from the meeting list either. That's all right. They're certainly welcome. Dave, he's even more welcome.
Okay, we'll see how that works. All right, let me bring up another window here. All right, so the biggest news is the new OS 26.5 update, which has enabled end-to-end encryption between Apple and non-Apple devices. End-to-end encryption using a new messaging technology called RCS, or Rich Communication Systems. You may have run into issues where friends of yours that have Android phones get crappy images from you if you try to send them a photo, because text messaging wasn't designed for photos, so it has to compress the heck out of them. Now with this new RCS, it's the newer technology, so high-res photos and videos should be able to go through. Group chats should work better when they have an Android user in them. They still have the green bubble. We wondered if they were going to change the color of the bubble. Green bubble used to mean unencrypted text message. Now it could be an encrypted RCS message, and the way you tell is by looking at the top of the message, and it tells you the protocol and if it's encrypted or not. For most people, encrypted messaging is no big deal, but a lot of people don't want the possibility of anyone snooping on their communications. So
What does RCS stand for?
Rich Communications Services.
All right. Thank you.
So it's been a protocol bouncing around for a few years. Google has supported it on Android, but the standards body just recently ratified the encryption half of it. So RCS encryption was on. RCS has been on in Apple devices for a while, but they just added the encryption layer, and so now on your iPhone, turn on RCS. So you need iOS 18 or later. And you go into settings, and then apps, and then messaging, and RCS messaging. So it will try to use RCS if the carrier and the other end supports it. Most of the carriers do support it, so now it's up to the other end also.
Is there a downside to it?
Not really. It's doesn't have as many of the features as iMessage does for internet messaging, like the tap back differences. Here we go, right here. And it's going to tell us the difference. So you've got tap backs, you've got live stickers, you've got effects that you can do, iMessage to iMessage. RCS is more regular text, although it does do some emojis. They may be different emojis than Apple. And then SMS is text only over the cell carriers. So there's, if you tap and hold on a message, there is responses that come back where you can, well, here's formatting, so you can make text to do certain things. Yeah, you can add different effects to the message. And where was the first one? I didn't see it.
So RCS is less flexible than iMessage, and
But it's more cross-platform.
more cross-platform and more secure.
It's the same encryption, well, same type of encryption as iMessage, but it's more secure than text messaging, which is not secure at all.
All right.
That's interesting that this doesn't have tap back. So tap back, you press and hold on a message, and you can do a thumbs up or thumbs down. There it is. A heart, laugh, question. And that added in also, I think, iOS 18. Yeah.
So the idiots that came out with text messaging, why didn't they encrypt it from the get-go?
Because that was 50 years ago. Phones couldn't do encryption. No one thought about encryption. It was an afterthought. It used the subband that wasn't used for phone calls, and so you could send 100 characters through the phone system. And then the phone company started charging us for text messages. Remember when you used to pay by the minute for text messages and for phone calls? And then when the iPhone first came out, where you could actually do a lot of internet stuff, they switched over to data plans. And so now pretty much every phone plan is unlimited minutes of calling, unlimited texting, and you pay by the gig for your data.
How do you pay by the minute for text messages?
You pay by the text message, or you pay by the minute for voice calls.
Oh, okay.
I think they got down to like 25 cents a text at the end, before everyone shifted over to data. All right, let's go back to the newsroom. I don't know if they have, there we go, if they have a newsroom on it. But, well, yeah, that's since the last meeting. So Tim Cook is stepping down as CEO, and John Turnus is moving up as CEO. Tim is going to be now the chairman of the board. So John Turnus has been coming out to and doing presentations at a lot of the keynotes the last few years, as we've started seeing Tim backing off on his day-to-day visual appearances. But now there's reports that he is going to go to China with the president and a dozen other high-level tech executives talking about the supply chain in Shanghai.
They're already there, right?
Yeah, I think they got there today, didn't they?
Yeah, it was on the
Yeah, they're
news
there today.
Yep. Well, if you're a big Bluey fan, Bluey's coming to Apple Arcade. If you have children of a certain range. Matthew missed the Bluey phase. He was Blue's Clues, was his children's show. All right, let's see. Yeah, the manufacturing was interesting. So Apple has created a manufacturing academy to bring manufacturers together to discuss how to do automation more to be able to produce products faster. And so this looks like the inside of an MRI machine, which is interesting because you wouldn't think of Apple as doing MRI machines, but all part of manufacturing. So if we can get our things made faster and more local, and part of that's because of Apple promised pledged $600 billion to U.S. infrastructure and creating more manufacturing in the U.S. There was a Wall Street Journal video a few weeks ago at Apple's Texas manufacturing plant that used to make the Mac Pro, and now they're making the Mac Mini and the Apple cloud AI servers. But with the RAM and chip shortages, we're seeing huge delays in all the computers. In fact, the Mac Minis have been short for like 2 months already, and it may be a couple more months before they come out. And there was, I think it was in the quarterly report where someone asked Tim about it. Yeah, several more months. They wondered about if it was the RAM shortage, or we were thinking maybe it's due to upgrade from the M4 to the M5, and now that the M5 Pro is out, maybe it could be closer to release. And the unprecedented AI use, since the Mac Mini is such a great little AI computer for doing a local AI, a lot of people were buying them up for that. And in fact, Apple even started removing configurations from the website. So the $599 Mac Mini with 256 storage is gone, and now the Mac Mini starts at $799 with 512 storage. But even that's, a month delay. And they took off some of the higher end RAM configurations on the Mac Mini and the Mac Studio as well. So if you were looking to buy a new Mac Mini, you're going to have to wait a few more months. Yeah, it was on the earnings call. All right, oops. Do this button. All righty, anyone else have any news type things?
Well, I have had an urge to blurt out something about this, so I might as well do it now. I've watched a couple of interesting YouTube videos lately about the chip manufacturing by TSMC and by Intel, and apparently they are pursuing very different processes now. What the hell is that? It just is really interesting. It has, having to do with like the angstrom level size of things and the rest of it. And an interesting concept called DSA, directed self-assembly, which uses these copolymers, two of them, and they hate each other. And somehow you put that on a chip, and then you zap it with something, and they align themselves into a design. It's wild.
Yep. There's a lot of rumors that Intel is going to start making some of the Apple chips because TSMC can't keep up with Apple's orders. Because NVIDIA outbid Apple last year for production this year. So NVIDIA is having them make all the AI chips. And it also helps to have a second supplier. There are stories about the Mac Neo. MacBook Neo with the A18 chip has run out of their planned production. And so Apple ordered I think that they doubled their production order, and they had to start ordering more A18 chips because it was a lot higher demand than they expected, which is kind of silly. Well, a $599 Mac, it's going to be hugely popular. So maybe they expected a lot, but it's even more than a lot. And there's almost rumors that there's going to be a new MacBook Neo sooner than expected, because if they've run out of A18 chips, they might have to go to the A19 chip to be able to start to keep making Mac Neos. Yeah, Apple doubled their production. But we never know. We don't know how much the production is. They had ordered 4, now they ordered 8, so they doubled their production. All right. Let's see. Yeah, that was that. Yeah, they've released a preliminary agreement. And there's a lot more chips in the computer besides the main SoC. So they could be making some of the other smaller chips, which would help ease production as they bring more chip fabs online. Let me set that there.
Then would the price go up if we start changing?
What was that, Kim? We can't hear over the background noise and the paper rustling or whatever it is.
That's not me. I'm lying here with an earphone in my ear.
Yeah, it's your microphone that's picking up all the noise.
Actually, Steve, that noise is coming from several different people's tiles
Is it?
that I'm seeing here. Yeah, the push, you know, the I can't make the right sound. But I don't know what we get. We got something in our setup that's doing that. And sometimes the problem does come from Kim, but not all the time, that's for sure. And not that problem. That problem just baked in somewhere.
Yeah,
So
whoever.
I said,
Go ahead.
would the price go up if they then started changing the chips and things?
Well, there are rumors that the price is going to have to go up because of the RAM prices. Sorry about that. I think I caught the mute in time. Because RAM prices have been skyrocketing, they're afraid the computer prices are going to have to go up as well. So they didn't raise them this year. In fact, they lowered the prices on most of the products this year. So maybe that means they're going to have to raise them back up again for next year.
What else did they lower?
Well, they lowered the prices on the laptops that came out. So the MacBook Air with 512 storage used to be $1299, now it's $1099. I think some of the MacBook Pros went down too, especially the 14-inch plain M5. They removed the lower configuration, so the MacBook Air with 256 storage is gone now, and so it starts at 512 storage, and they dropped the price. And on the Pros, they dropped the 512 storage models, and now they start at 1 terabyte, and they dropped the price. So it's more of a Pro machine coming with a terabyte of storage.
More storage, less price.
Yep. And there's a lot of worry when the iPhone 17e came out. It has 16 gigs of RAM. 12 gigs of RAM and 512 256 minimum storage. Let me get down here to the bottom. But it's still the same $9.99 as the 16 was. So they doubled the storage from the 16E and didn't raise the price. It's still an expensive phone, but it's not as expensive as we were worried about. So we do 17E versus 16E. Yeah, they doubled the storage at each price. And in the 17E, they also added the MagSafe charging back that the 16E didn't have. So the 17E is a lot better value than the 16E was. Still only the one camera, so if you're into photography, you probably want to move up to the 17 to get to 2 cameras. But the one camera is pretty decent, it just doesn't have the ultra-wide that the 17 has. Charlie, did that article you read give you any timeline?
On when those processes were going to be.
Yeah. What was that acronym again?
DSA, Directed Self-Assembly. And that was, who the heck was doing that? See, one was Intel and one was, I'm totally confused, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I should find, I should look up who the presenter was, because I think the 2 videos I watched were by the same woman who is a computer engineer or design engineer or something like that. But
So co-developed by MIT and the University of Chicago and the Argonne National Laboratory. So we're starting to work on the nano scale. And so a lot of the chips so far have been in the nanoscale, 10 millimeter, 5 nanometers. They started going into the 3 nanometer process. Then they're getting smaller and smaller, so we had to change down to angstroms. So there's 10 angstroms in a nanometer. And a nanometer is a billionth of a meter. So we are in really tiny dimensions. What's the word I want? 3 nanometer. Let's see. Yeah, 28 billion transistors on the 3 nanometer. So much so that Apple renamed their efficiency cores to performance cores because they're so much faster. And they renamed their performance cores to super cores because they're so much faster than the old one did.
I'm not sure I can get my head around a billion of anything, but
Yeah.
the idea of, 28 billion transistors on a chip is almost meaningless to me because I just can't. I
Yeah.
can't relate. You know what I mean?
It's 28 billion transistors that fit in 3 billionths of a meter. Yeah.
They don't all fit into that.
Well, yeah, the traces are 3 nanometers wide.
Yeah.
They've run into problems trying to make things any smaller because of something called electron drift. I wonder if it will tell me that. The electrons stop going down the wire and start drifting into other traces. No.
So they're going to other wires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of following a wire straight, the electron just starts jumping around from wire to wire to wire. So then they're trying to create better
Insulation.
insulation between the traces.
It's almost like black magic, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and that was is it Johnny Cerrugi? Was the Apple hardware guy to bring the Johnny Cerrugi that designed the whole SoC to bring the M series. Well, actually, before that, even the A series to market. So a lot of people, and the MacBook Neo's got an A18 in it, and so people complain it's an iPhone chip. But the M1 chip was based on the A15 iPhone chip. So that's, the A18 is like an M3. And so the speed of even the A series chips are just incredible compared to previous generation.
Okay, so how many transistors can we fit on the head of a pin now?
Yeah.
Probably got to take the angels off first.
It might fit both the angels and the devils.
In between, yeah, sure.
100 million. Oh, and that's with 22 nanometer technology. So in 1971, you could only fit 200 transistors in that size.
But do we really want to trust the AI that uses a computer chip to give us that answer?
Yeah, I was watching a cop show last night, and somebody got murdered by an autonomous drone. And they found the pieces of it, and they put it back together, and the idiots put the propellers back on it and filled the magazine with bullets. And then were surprised when it flew away and started shooting people. Yeah, you can test it. You don't put the props on. Every RC guy knows that. Don't put the props on when you're testing it.
What show was that?
NCIS Sydney. Which a lot of people are mad because the lead actress is actually British. So she's doing a American accent, a British actress doing an American accent on an Australian TV show. I'm trying to find the Wikipedia article.
No one cares if British or Australians play Americans, but if an American plays one of them, everyone on the planet throws a fit.
Yeah. And bad guys, if there's a British accent, it's a bad guy. All right, somebody had an interesting picture of the M5 chip. There we are. Well, that's M3. So the difference between the M3, M3 Pro, and M3 Max. And then above the Max was the Ultra. And the density of all the components on that little tiny chip. Let's see, what's the size? Oh, that's a new window. What's the size of the M3? So see size. Roughly the size of your fingernail. To try to squeeze that much stuff in such a tiny thing. Does it have any pictures? No, just the package. So the package you see on the logic board, the chip is like, the size of the Apple logo. The rest of it is the traces that go out to the rest of the logic board. Alrighty, anyone else have any newsy things, or do we want to move into questions?
How many people's heads can explode at one time?
Yeah.
Really. I got a couple little things, if it's okay to talk about them.
Sure.
One of them I'm gonna save for when you get into the presentation about accessories, because it has to do with that, Epson scanner that I sent you info about, but, one comment, remember, I think last month we were trying to figure out whether that little external drive I bought was a, spinner or an SSD.
Yep.
I figured out it's a spinner. I held it up to my ear.
Yeah. I could hear it spinning. Yep.
Yeah. Now, the other thing this comes back to my not understanding really basic concepts, but every now and then I'll see a reference to a native app or whatever. Like, what does that native thing mean?
Basically, it means it was written for the platform it's running on. So, for example, say an Apple Silicon app runs on an Apple Silicon computer natively. But an Intel-based app has to run in the Rosetta translator. So it's being translated, it's not running native. So native apps are faster, but translated apps can be easier for developers, especially there's a cross-platform development environment called Electron that allows a company to make an app that runs on any platform, Mac, Windows, iOS, Android, so they can make it once and run on that on all platforms. The problem with it is it's very slow because it has to go through that translation layers. So native apps are faster. Electron apps are cheaper, basically. The company doesn't have to make them all at once.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you go into your desktop, in the computer, into an application, you can do a get info on a Mac application, and it will tell you whether it's an Intel app, an Apple Silicon app, or a universal app, which means it can run on either platform natively. So it basically means the app is twice as big as it needs to be, because it has both the Intel code in it and the Apple code. See if I can find a better example of one. No, it's the same, similar sort of thing we ran into in the 32-bit versus 64-bit ages. You can go into the get info and see what your app is. Now, some of you may have started seeing, I think it was 26.4, started adding warnings that if you're still running an Intel app, it may not work in the next OS. And so that we're seeing, we think in OS 28, the Rosetta translator is going to be gone. So if you have any old Intel apps, they're not going to work anymore if you upgrade. So you have to go to that developer and see if they've released an update, or change to a different app, or don't upgrade your OS.
So more forced upgrades that we don't necessarily want to have to do.
Or you just don't upgrade at all.
You have to upgrade at some point.
Yeah, Intel only apps won't work. Although they are making exceptions for some games, which is interesting. So what games and how do you get on that exception list?
Just gotta wait. Oh, yeah. I told you in that thing I sent you about the Epson scanner that I had been getting those warnings. I don't know if you call them notifications or what, on my MacBook when I was operating the scanner hooked up to it. And is there a way? I neglected to do a screenshot of one of those warnings when it was up, and I didn't see it again after that yet. So is there anywhere in the Mac that stores those notifications, or you just have to grab them when they happen?
They're stored there for a while. If you click on the date and time in the menu bar, it will bring out the most recent notifications.
Huh,
But it doesn't keep them for very long.
okay. So whatever you're in, just click on the date and time up on the, whatever they call the top bar thing.
In the menu bar at the upper right corner, yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
So missed. So if you clear it, it's gone. Some applications keep their own notification history. So like in Mail, you get notified there's a new message. But a notification from the app that it won't be supported anymore is probably coming from the system level, and it would show in the desktop.
I know sometimes those things will come up. On my Mac, it's the upper right-hand corner of the screen.
Yep.
And if you hover over the upper left-hand corner of the notification, a little X is there, and you can click on that to get rid of the notification.
Right.
But I think the notifications about the Intel problem with the Epson machine did not have that little X to click on. They just went away, or I clicked somewhere else on the screen and they went away. I don't know.
Yep. So I'm getting that notification right now for OBS, which is the broadcasting software I'm using to stream to YouTube, which is interesting because I thought it was an Apple Silicon app. It is. So one of the dependencies must not be Apple Silicon native.
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
On my iPad, you're getting updates, but it seems like the OS is getting so big in there, it says you've got to delete stuff just to load it because it's over a third the memory in it. Is there some way to do it easier, or you just got to delete a lot of stuff?
The upgrade OSs can be large. 6 to 10 gigs. And so it's got to download that 10 gigs, and then it needs at least that much again in order to install on your computer or on the iPad. So you might need like 30 gigs of free space to do an install. One of the ways you can help that is to plug it into your computer and use the computer to download the update, so then that first 10 gigs isn't needed to do that. I'm running into the same problem on my old 32 gig iPad. I don't have enough space to do the new update, and so I have to do it on the computer.
So you plug it into the back of, where would you plug it in?
Into the USB port on the computer.
Okay, then from the iPad to that, yeah, okay.
Yep. And then in the Finder, let me see if I can find a picture. In the Finder, it should show up in the left-hand sidebar. There's one. device will show up in the left-hand sidebar, and there's an option to check for updates.
Okay,
Hi,
okay.
I'm in my meeting right now.
Okay, I was just gonna say hi.
Hi, thanks for saying hi. How are you?
I'm doing good, how are you?
So,
All right, I'll leave you
okay,
alone.
thanks, Steve.
Yep.
I'm learning all
You're
this
welcome.
stuff about our computers.
Alrighty. All right. Anybody else have another question?
Carol, you had a question.
Yes, I'm trying to find my question. I have it written on the iPad here. Let's see. Oh, when you were talking about continuity last month, there was a thing about you could use your watch to automatically unlock your Mac.
Yes.
Is there a way to do that? I'm doing screen sharing because I'm using my old iMac as my screen to access my Mac Mini. Is there a way I can do that instead of having to log into the screen sharing thing over and over again?
If the old computer has a new enough OS and is supported by it. So let's see.
Hang on.
So in OS 13 or later, because system settings and system preferences. So on older OS versions, you go to system preferences and then security and allow Apple Watch to unlock the Mac.
System preferences and security.
Or if the old Mac is running system 13 or newer, then it's in system settings.
Am I running? Let's see. I am running 12.7.
Yeah, so that would be system preferences, security and privacy, and then use your Apple Watch to unlock your apps, unlock your Mac. Let's see, what are the requirements for unlock? Well, 10.13 or later. So that feature's been in there a long time.
Yeah, I didn't know.
And Apple Watch 2 or later.
Of course, I didn't have a watch probably long ago. But...
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then I also had a question about Apple Mail. No one else has a question.
Why don't you go ahead and then we'll get to Rick's question.
Okay. Is there a way to get it so that email, can I filter so that I don't get all the old emails on my mobile device? I just want to get like the most recent ones on it.
Not directly, but if you don't keep scrolling down, it won't keep loading old messages. So new messages come into the top. If you keep scrolling down and down and down, it will keep loading old messages.
So it's just a loading because I'm scrolling down to view them.
Yeah. Let's see. The other way is to make sure you keep your inbox empty.
Well, it should be sailed.
Yeah. Well, do a select all on your computer. Select all on the inbox and move everything to a new folder. There is also a preference in the phone settings. I'd forgotten about that one. Yeah, so settings, apps, mail, and accounts and days to sync. Mail accounts, account settings, advanced, no, that's not there. So they've moved that setting. I hate when they move things. Let's see if we can find it here. It's 23. So days to sync is the
Oh,
key phrase. Oh, that was from 10 years ago. Days to sync. Apple Mail. Days to sync.
Sometimes it helps to put in the year of either 2025 or 2026.
Yeah, or the OS number you're on.
Yeah, that helps too.
So that's what you're syncing. And days to sync. So that's on Exchange. Maybe it matters what type of mail account it is.
okay, well, most of my mail is in .Mac.
You can make a rule to auto-file new messages into a different folder. But I don't think that's what you want either. It's the old messages, right?
Well, I want to just not have all the old messages keep coming up on the device.
Wasn't there a way to say apply filter to current or older messages?
Yeah, on the Mac, if you make a mail rule in your inbox, when you save the rule, it asks if you want to apply that to the current inbox. So if you say find all mail more than 2 years old and move it to this other folder, then it would. Then the next time it syncs to the phone, it would move them to a folder the mail server would show that in a different folder on the phone and take them out of the inbox. So that's under mail settings and rules. I have a rule that turns people in my address book red. So messages from people I know turn red so I can find them easier. To help weed them out of all of the junk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can say date received is older than how many days. So if I say 300, 365 is 1 year. So you can count how many years old and you want to move it to another mailbox. Let me see if I can switch my presenting do that window. There it is. Yeah. So mail settings rules. So I can make a new rule that if the date received is greater than 300 days old, move it to some other mailbox, like archive or old mail.
Okay. All right, I think I might have to play around with rules.
And then when I say okay, it asks, do I want to apply those rules right now? So you could say apply, and then it would. So all those old messages would get moved to another folder. And I'm going to turn that rule off. Oh, that reminds me. Is there anyone else that wants the Apple, David Pogue's Apple at 50 book? I'm going to place the order this weekend. 50 book. Apple, the first 50 years. That's the name of the book.
Yeah, I already told you I would.
Yep. Where's my list? I've got Linda and Bob and Carol. Chris Pisano, she's here, I haven't seen. But if anyone else wants to get one at 40% off this price. So it's normally $50. I think we're going to be able to do it for $30 as soon as I get the final tally.
It's a bestseller already.
Yeah. Oh, there
Oh, no,
was.
I lived through the first 50 years. I don't know if I want to revisit it.
All the pictures, remembering the old people. I don't know if I can find it here, but so one of the things we'll be able to do is David will do a meeting for us, and he posted a search. He posted a thing from the I think it was Fairbanks, Alaska user group who are going to be who are hosting him. There we are. And it was really neat. They went all out and made a pretty amazing, here we go, pretty amazing cover for the Alaska Apple Users Group. I guess they get a lot of moose in Alaska. And it's open to the world because it's on Zoom. So I'm going
So he's not going to Alaska, huh?
No, he does a Zoom meeting, yep. Makes it a lot easier to do world travels.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's the same night as our meeting, I think. Yeah, it is, same night as our meeting.
Can we just join his meeting?
We could do that instead of our
Make it
meeting.
ours? Yeah.
That starts an hour and an hour before we do, though.
Oh, it's Alaska.
Well, yeah. So yeah, 5 Alaska time. That's 4 hours, isn't it?
At least, yeah.
So that's let's see.
So 9:40.
What time in Alaska? It's 4 o'clock in Alaska now, so they're 4 hours behind us. Yeah, so that'll be at 9:45. So when we're done with our meeting, we can join his.
Okay, that'll work out.
That's one giant picture. Yeah, they do want you to register so they know how many people will be there. And I am going to,
Oh, it does say, or register at.
If we,
Yep. yeah,
colon bit.ly.
if we,
let's see.
if we,
I'm going to save that image.
if we joined it, would we possibly join as just one visitor? Our whole setup?
We-
Could be just one.
We could, but probably better for individual people to join it.
Okay. So, again, then I need to ask again, I'm sorry. How much advance notice would we have to give them to register for it?
For them, I don't know. To have David come to our meeting,
No, I'm talking, yeah. Yeah?
yeah, I don't know yet either for that, but I'm probably at least a couple of well, I don't know. I was going to say a couple of months, but I don't know for sure.
But the Alaska meeting, how soon do they want to know?
Let me see if they have it on their. It's on their website. Pogue. Is it the word at? No, Pogue 50 Apple.
I also wonder how many members the Alaska group has. Could be a lot, I don't know.
Yeah. t.ly/50 Apple.
Yeah, like, do they have one for the whole state?
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
Constant contact, verified. Dun, dun. 15th. Looks like it doesn't say. Just go ahead and register.
Register as in join or something like that, right?
Oh, yeah, share this tab instead. Yeah, you can register for this event and then it will put a link on your calendar.
I'm wondering if, and next week we can discuss this further at our board meeting, but I'm wondering what I was wondering at this point. Don't get old, folks. It don't work so good. Oh, yeah, I was wondering if we were gonna try to do that, join their meeting or whatever. If you could send out before our meeting, the email before our meeting, the instructions on how to join that meeting, which of course we could also go over again in our June general meeting.
Yeah.
Before their meeting.
Yep. Yeah, I can do that.
Gosh, I wish I could get rid of it. Hold on a sec.
So
You asked and it went away.
So when is David Pogue's meeting, that meeting in Alaska?
June 10th,
June 10th,
5:45 p.m. Alaska time, which is 9:45 p.m. here.
so 9:45 our time. All right. Okay,
How long does that one last, do we know?
as long as it wants to.
Yeah. Their website says they generally run 2-hour meetings.
So in other words, as long as you're interested in what he has to say, you know.
I wonder how bored he gets saying the same things over and over again.
Well, that was his problem when he wrote that book and wanted to promote it.
Yeah.
You can probably talk as long as you keep on talking, just like everybody else.
Well, you've heard that at some of the conventions we go to. Somebody will ask the guest, what question do you hate answering?
Yeah.
And what question has nobody asked you yet? Which is kind of tough to answer. I don't know what they haven't asked me.
Okay, well, we have plenty of time then to, if they don't have a date that you have to register, or maybe you want to contact them, just to send a thing and say, ask them that question. What do you think?
I'm sure if they register before the meeting, that's likely going to be what it is.
All right.
All right, Rick, you had a question?
Yes, I've been having a strange problem where I'll be downstairs and I'll use my computer there to log into a computer upstairs that I'm sharing the screen with. And I'll come upstairs a little while later and notice that, oh, the computer I logged into has turned on my display up here. What's going on with that? And is there a way for me to prevent that from happening?
I think it's a
It's-
ghost.
The computer. That button. I would say the computer thinks it's being used, and so it lights the monitor.
Yeah, but it never did it before.
It's sensing someone in the room, Rick.
Now that I'm on an M4 using Tahoe.
There's probably an option. Are you using Apple screen sharing?
Yes.
Apple screen sharing. Turn off remote monitor. There's a terminal command. I don't know if that's going to be very good. Oh, hi, Charles. I didn't see you there. There we go. So turn off remote monitor. Lock the remote screen. Command Control Q. Or you can send a terminal command to put the display to sleep. Or turn off screen sharing. Yeah, that'll stop it from
Yeah.
screen sharing.
Yeah, what we want to do is prevent the monitor from going on.
Yeah.
Getting the screens sharing.
Yeah, keep the remote screen curtain mode. So remote desktop versus screen sharing.
So, Rick, did this just happen when you upgraded to a different OS, or?
New computer, new OS, yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably a difference in the way that OS handles the remote session.
I mean, I can kind of understand why they might want to do that, because it would alert someone at the other end that, hey, somebody's using this computer.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Is it
Yeah.
me?
little thing that says your computer's being controlled.
So yeah, you can put the display to sleep, but someone who walks up to it would wake it up.
But it's just weird. I mean, I'll have the monitor turned off, and when I screen share, it turns it on.
Yeah, because the computer's being used. Control or interact. So this is remote desktop, not screen sharing. So remote desktop gives you more features, but I don't know if it exists anymore. Let's see in the App Store. to desktop. Oh yeah, it's $80.
Well, that's why I'm not using it.
Yeah.
Screen sharing works fine for me, except for this little glitch that didn't used to be there.
Turn the brightness all the way down so it doesn't show anything.
I suppose temporarily I could just disconnect the monitor, since most of the time I'm just screen sharing into the thing. It's not connected. There's no way it
well,
can
just,
turn on.
yeah. So the monitor must have an auto power on feature.
That's probably true.
And so it sees the computer being used and, oh, hey, I better turn the screen on. So if
Well,
you...
I never did it before, I'll never know.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a new Samsung.
Yeah.
I've had it probably 10 years.
Yeah. So it looks like you can send a remote sleep command, but someone could walk by and wake it up again. Or cat walks on the keyboard.
All right, well, thanks for looking it up. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't
Yeah.
something that I hadn't.
Yeah, I know some of the big commercial programs do that. So it locks out the remote screen while you're remoted in. So the user can't go messing around changing something. But all the other programs cost money too. All right, any other questions? Well, shall we take a short break and then move into fun accessories?
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's do that, and
Sounds
then
good.
we'll readjourn. It's 8:22, so let's say 8:30. Is 7 minutes enough, or you want more?
That's good.
Give us 10. Jeez, I want to make.
All
Doug
right,
have
well,
trouble
I'll
here.
just throw 8:30, 8:35, that's good.
8:32 and a half. Set your timer.
I'm hearing someone breathing, but everyone has their mic muted. There's an invisible ghost in the meeting.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Kim.
Here's the weird thing. Like, I muted my microphone earlier, and then it said someone muted me, and I said, but I already muted myself. And then it turned my video on and my audio off. So basically now, off means on and on means off. Because right now, it's like I'm going, wait, what? It's really strange. So I don't know when it's on or off.
All right, so right now I see you're not muted.
And you're hearing me.
Yep.
And now it's not muted anymore. But I had it muted when I started talking. And now it's not muted. There's a ghost. There's a ghost in my phone.
Yeah, I'm hearing ghostly music in the background of somebody, but everyone's mic is turned off. Where's it coming from?
The music, that's the TV. I turned it on the break because I don't like quiet. So you are hearing ghostly music, Criminal Minds, and this girl smoking a cigarette, and she's remembering some kind of dream. With smoke. So it must be some kind of crazy girl remembering a memory. In a smoke-filled room. She's 4 years old in her dream. I'm not 4 years old in my dreams.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it'd be nice. She's 4 years old. Well, I was just talking about it yesterday. Like, when I first came to the hospital, you know how you have dreams, and dreams are like weird and they don't make sense. And
That's a long time ago.
Your dead mother is fighting a dragon in your house, and you're like, wait, what? But when I came to the hospital, it was like I had dreams of normalcy, like having dinner with my friends in a restaurant or a glass of wine with my mom, and I'm like, I just had dreams that were normal. So it's like my life was so turned upside down in your house, and you're like, wait, what? But when I came to the hospital, it was like I had dreams of normalcy, like having dinner with my friends in a restaurant or a glass of wine with my. And then I also had other weird dreams, like I could watch TV or something, just dream that I was there, like, oh, I've got to go find this person by 8 or the world's going to end. And I wake up like, no, that was TV. The world's not going to end, and you don't have a gun, and you're not going out and killing somebody. It's weird how the mind works, isn't it?
Yep. Alright, sound. My volume is low. Okay.
Blue and purple. Interesting color scheme.
Alrighty, let's get this ready. Alrighty, we'll get started shortly, as soon as everyone gets back.
I think Rick might be watching on YouTube at the moment. Let's see him come back on.
Well, there are two other people besides me, so one's Rick's, one's Charlie.
When you watch YouTube during the break, are you watching us do nothing?
Yep. Most everybody turned their camera off, though.
Oh, well, you're watching me do nothing anyway.
Your camera's off, too.
I hope so. Next time I'll remember to brush my hair. I'll put a little flour in it. Oh, that'd be fun.
Alrighty. Charlie, do you want to talk about the stuff that you found? I've got your documents up if we can skim through them.
If you don't mind, why don't you kind of go through them and talk about the topics, and then maybe we'll get a two-way conversation going when we get to the special case of the Epson folder scanner.
Yep. Yeah. So one of the big trends lately is oh shoot, it just left me hand. The integrated self. There's all sorts of medical devices coming out, and right now on your Apple Watch you can do your heart rate. You can do it can monitor you for AFib. If you have a new enough watch, it can do your blood oxygen. And one of the sort of the holy grails for health monitoring is a non-invasive glucose monitor for diabetics.
That's nice.
I am going to nope, where is it? Push there. Okay. And every now and then there's research from people that have some sort of potential for non-invasive glucose monitoring. But in the meantime, what's come out are these little tiny continuous glucose monitoring things that excuse me, you attach to your arm, and it can report readings to your Apple Watch, or many of them also have their own a watch as well. And so you leave it on all day long, and you get a continuous glucose monitor. So it's just one prick, and then you stay pricked the whole day. But we've actually seen contestants on American Ninja Warrior are wearing them through the obstacle courses, through swimming, so it doesn't matter if they get wet or not. And so from people that do wear them, I've read some really cool reports about realizing, you eat that cookie and your blood sugar just spikes, and you don't realize how much sugar there is in pretty much every food. Yeah. Oh, Bob's got one. So 20 says 207 good or bad, Bob? Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So is it really accurate? Do you have something to compare it to so you know it's accurate? You double check.
Weeks. You put it on, it isn't all day, it's 2 weeks. You don't take it off for 2 weeks, and then you get a notice it's completed, and you take it off, use the alcohol, the other one, and I'll show you. You put it on, it isn't all day, it's 2 weeks. You don't take it off for. I get 6 of these at one time. Get a notice it's completed, and you take it off, use the alcohol, the other one. Well, I'm hearing a repeat of what I said earlier. But here's the applicator. And this thing here screws off. And once it's prepped, I put it on and it squishes in and it snaps in. And that's it.
So, Bob, am
Yeah.
I correct in thinking that that thing you're using is a non-invasive type?
Well, it sticks through my skin. There's a little needle.
Oh, okay.
It's so fragile. You know, I mean, it's like on my other pen, I have a diabetes insulin pen that I put in. It's long-lasting insulin. I jab myself, and the needles on them are very, very thin, very easy to bend. But you don't feel it. I mean, sometimes it might itch a little or something, but it's there. And when I go through a doorway, sometimes if my arm scrapes along the door, it might, I've had them actually come loose, but mostly they stay pretty solid in there. You just don't notice them. And I notice people all over the place with them. At the meetings we have at the JCC, there are 2 or 3 other people there. I was playing poker, and the guy across from me was having really high readings. He had to go take extra stuff, insulin or something. But and there's the picture of it. Yeah, he's down below.
That's a really tiny
It-
thing.
So
Yeah,
is that
it's smaller now than it was last year. It's about maybe the size of a quarter.
so? Is that the Apple Freestyle Libre that you're using, Bob?
Abbott.
Abbott.
I apologize.
Abbott.
Abbott. Abbott. I got it.
Yeah, it's slightly smaller than a quarter. I put the quarter next to it, and the quarter is slightly bigger, but maybe 90% the size of a quarter. And it's thinner, too. So anyway, that's my experience with that.
Cool. At some point, I'm going to jump in here, and this was an experiment done a few years ago now, at a camp for kids with type 1 diabetes. And this was not just monitoring. These kids were all fitted out with some kind of a insulin pump or something in their abdomen, I guess. And then the whole shtick, the monitoring and the activating the pump was through an iPhone, I think. And what they did was they just let these kids, basically they had 32 of them, I think. They were expecting that it would work for, hoping it would work for a majority of them. It worked for all of them. And they were able to pretty much eat what and when they wanted, exercise when and how they wanted, And it's just the combo kept them in range all through it.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
So there's kind of two halves to it. There's the monitoring that will tell you what your sugar level is, and then there's the insulin pumps that will pump insulin when the monitor says you need it. So that's like a second device.
So what I forgot, I meant to ask Bob was whether his the Abbott sensor setup and the finger stick tests came out roughly the same.
What's the question?
Out beyond range here.
Yeah, I think you said they were pretty close.
Is that your answer, Bob? That the Abbott device and the finger stick tests came out pretty close to each other?
Well, I don't do it regularly. I only use the finger stick when I get suspicious readings. So they would not be the same. You know, if the suspicious reading was off, and the finger stick gives me more reliable reading, you know, that would be it. If all of a sudden I get a reading that's, you know, way low, but I don't feel, you know, any symptoms from it, I would use the finger stick. But frankly, I don't use it very often, just when something seems way off. Like, I had 2 of my last 4 failed, and you can call Abbott and get them replaced. But I changed it, it was new, everything seemed fine. And then you have to wait 1 hour after you initialize it to get a reading. And I tried to get the reading and it said this was used on another device. I'm thinking, what the hell are you talking about? I only have the one device, but it told me that I couldn't use it. I had to reinstall a new one. Bottom line, that was a defective unit. And that happened twice. I could call Abbott and get replacements, but it was just more hassle than I wanted. The thing is nice, but it's not essential. If I didn't have this, you know, my life wouldn't be all that much different. But it's good to have it, to know exactly kind of where you are. And it's sort of like a taskmaster to tell you, hey, maybe you don't need that extra cookie or whatever. But I brought this in the show. The showing?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I'm not looking. I was looking at you, Steve. But this is the pen. You can see there. And this is the needle. And I would, let's see, screw them on. I'll put this one on like that. Screw it on. I just added the needle. Let's see. I lost track of where I am. Anyway, but oh, I see. I'm in the big picture. Pull it off, and I'll hold this as best I can. You can see the needle there. It's very thin.
Not very long.
It's not very long. I would say it's a quarter inch maybe, and you're not supposed to use needles more than once, but I regularly use them twice. I'll use this needle once in the morning, and then I put the thing back on like this.
Just don't blow through it to clear it.
But now it's back on. I don't have to worry about the needle getting bent. And
I was joking about blowing through it because back when I worked in the bug lab, once in a while they'd have a patient who was a drug addict, and apparently when they're shooting up heroin, they will blow through the needle to clear it. And what they end up doing is injecting into their bloodstream their mouth bacteria. And that gets to their heart valves, and it's a mess. And it's, yeah, so. But anyway, the little Abbott sensors you put on your arm, are they expensive?
they are, but I got my health insurance covers it, so I didn't pay anything for it. But somewhere on the paperwork, it shows what the actual cost is, and it's expensive. But I could make up a number, but $50 a year for one that lasts 2 weeks. Maybe that sounds plausible, but it could be 250. Some of these things, you look at the prices, $1,000. I know people get shots for, $5,000 for one shot. Not for diabetes, but for other things. And the other pen that I use is Repatha. Repatha is it was recommended by my cardiologist, so it's good for your heart, I presume. But Carol yells at me. She says, "Bob, your nose is running." And so okay, I'll wipe my nose. Sorry, But then I realized after a number of months, wait a minute, my nose is running all the time. It's a side effect of the drug, Repatha. So, don't blame me. Blame my doctor. If I got a runny nose, it's just water. It's not snot. It's not mucus, but it's like having teardrops, because I'm sure that's basically what it is. And some of these drugs, because I got the diabetes, I got blood thinners for the heart, and sometimes one drug, when I had a concussion, there was a brain bleed. And so they made me stop taking my blood thinner and let my body heal itself. But my vascular people who recommended the blood thinner, because I had aneurysms and such, they wanted me back on it as soon as possible. But brain people wanted me to have off it so I could cure. And so it works out. You get a lot of these when you got multiple issues, that drugs for problem A conflict with drugs, with problem B, and so on.
Yep.
So I just saw a thing for Repatha that it might generate higher blood sugar. So this thing here is fighting to get my blood sugar down, and the Repatha is increasing it. So, but I'm still alive, kicking.
That's the important part.
Yeah.
There's also another. Go ahead, Kim.
Is there anything, if I'm already in the hospital, so I get the vitals taken every day, is there anything that a watch or those things could do for me if I'm already in the hospital? Like any measurements?
When I went in the hospital, the drugs that I was taking, I didn't have to take them to the hospital. They had a list of what I was taking, and they supplied them, until I got done, and then got out of the hospital, and I'm back on my regular meds.
Kim, are you asking whether there are accessory detection devices pertinent to any of the drugs that you're on? Is that it?
Well, I mean, the watches or the fitness apps or whatever, whether it's on the iPhone or the watch, all the things that they do and measure, is that's something that would benefit someone who's already in the hospital, or is that only if you're out of the hospital? Oh, I shouldn't have run that marathon. I need to get to the hospital. Is there anything on that would help me with, monitoring something all the time rather than?
Probably not, because you're probably already being monitored, aren't you?
Well, are they taking your blood glucose? Do they think you might have a blood sugar problem?
No, I don't have blood sugar issue.
If they thought you did, they'd be monitoring that closer.
Right. I mean, I get my vitals once a day right now. Blood pressure, heart rate, respirations, temperature.
They look at your oxygen too. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're already wearing sensors.
I have a funny story about, I was in the hospital for bypass on my popliteal artery, which is right behind the knee. And it was about 2 in the morning. And I was hooked up with all these things like a drip that had a blood thinner in it and so on. And about maybe 2 or 3 in the morning, I started feeling warm, like I was wetting the bed or something. I realized that it wasn't urine, it was blood. And I pressed the thing, and immediately there was, a dozen people came right into the room. And I have a tendency to watch TV or listen to the radio all night long. And I was watching the movie Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. It was on the screen up above. And it was funny because these people kind of rushed in, and one of the interns there, he grabbed a towel and he put compression on my leg to stop the bleeding. And somebody mentioned his name. His name was Dr. Kumar.
Oh, yeah.
I said, "Your name is Kumar?" And I said, "You're on the TV." And I just pointed up. The movie was still playing. Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. So it was just funny that Dr. Kumar saved my life while I watched the movie.
I think I'd run away.
No, it was my leg that they were. It would have been kind of a hard thing to run. Anyway, my story.
I tried to run away, but it didn't work. I fell down.
So it looks like Dexcom is another major brand of continuous glucose monitors. They look a little bit bigger than the Abbott ones. They're oblong instead of circular.
Now this guy here, hold on to that picture a second. He's got a patch on that goes over it. You can. I've run out of it, but I had stick them. Used alcohol to clean it, but there was this. Let me just see if I still have it.
So, Steve, I don't know if you saw my chat comment. We couldn't hear Bob on YouTube.
Yeah, but it's back though, right? I had muted it for the break and forgot to bring it back.
Anyway, you can get this.
He was talking, he just wasn't loud enough.
Skin tack, and it's like a alcohol swab, but it leaves a stickiness that helps it stick even better than it would stick by itself, which is very good. You really don't need this, but I bought them and used them. But this guy's using a patch that I think that goes over the monitor, and so it doesn't have a edge that's protruding, just to help keep it from coming loose. Yeah, it looks like here it might be built into it. The picture in the middle shows with that extra part, the gauze.
Might be part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Bob, can I assume that you can shower with that patch on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, and then there's another one called Isaac, and they're working on a volatile organic compound sensor that you breathe into. This one isn't ready for public release yet, but it's still in testing. So you might remember the sick building syndrome that was in the news a while ago, where carpets or wallpaper or tiles were off-gassing volatile organic compounds, and people inside sealed office buildings were getting sick. So they're working on sensors to catch that too.
Yeah, in fact, my battery's running low. I gotta charge up this phone.
All right, we'll go back to pages.
Steve, while you mentioned that, when I send you these things, is it okay if I just leave them in pages?
Sure.
Okay, good.
All right, yeah, so we talked a couple of those. And then there's an implantable one. No, so now that's interesting. Implantable lasts a year, but they say you can wear the other ones for 10 to 15 days. So 2 a month, like Bob was saying. So that uses the interstitial fluid, not from the blood. So does that work okay too? I guess. Yep. Alrighty, and now this one out. Okay, so you were asking Claude about things too, right, Charlie?
Well, that's what the printouts are.
Yeah. So a lot of people could always use little accessories. Charging cables and chargers are really common and relatively inexpensive. A power bank is an interesting option. It's basically a larger battery. Anchor makes some really good ones, and it can, depending on how many watt hours you get, they could like recharge your phone 10 times or recharge your computer twice. So if you know you're going to be away from power for a long time, you can take a power bank. There are clip-on phone lenses that clip over your existing lens to give you telephoto or macro or wide-angle lens, especially for phones that only have one camera. Those are kind of handy.
You can talk about fuel rod, have you in there as far as a power source? Because I use fuel rod, which comes with the battery, just a round, small battery, and it comes with 4 different ends, so you can fit any phone. And then you can plug it into your phone and then plug it into a chargeable source if you want. But I did buy them at Disney, where Disney had them, where you buy it initially, and then they have machines around the parks, and you just put the used one in, and you push the button, and it gives you a brand new battery. But you can charge it yourself, so you don't have to rely on it. So just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah, so that's common at big public events like Disney, Universal, where you get what sort of looks like a battery, a AA battery, and you use it up, and then you go to a kiosk and return your old one and get a replacement one out of the kiosk.
And if you're using that at home, not at a resort park or whatever, you can just recharge the fuel rod. Is that it, Shirley?
Yep, you can just plug it in, and then, like I said, it comes with 4 different ends on it to fit whatever phone device you have, and then you just wait, and it has 4 little green dots, so you can tell when all 4 are lit that it's charged up, and it lasts pretty long time, I have to say, because when I go to Disney, I take a lot of pictures, and I usually have to charge it at least once to twice while I'm in there to do it. But once you bought it, you never have to buy it again. That's the good part of it. You can just keep changing it. And again, you can go home at night and charge it up, ready for the next day. And I guess they also sell them in airports, is where I saw, in some larger places, but it's not like very common to actually find them. Unless, again, you're like at Disney or someplace like that where, people tell you about it. I mean, I think it cost me $35 to $40 to buy it initially. But you can also,
some in Syracuse. Interesting.
but you can also buy them on Amazon too. The fuel rods sometimes go on sale. So,
And
So at
can
Dairy
you
Lake, there's a bunch of them.
in the situation where you're kind of going all day and you need to recharge your phone during the course of the day,
right.
can you still, if you hook it up to the fuel rod to charge, can you still use the phone while it is charging?
Yes,
Okay.
because I've gone to events where I just hold it because it's so small, like a battery, like the size of 2 batteries end to end, and just a little bit bigger. And you can just hold it in your hand or put it in your pocket or whatever, but you can still hold it and take pictures with it because the cables are very short, like an inch, 2 inches, 3 inches. They're not meant
Right.
to be long cables. They're
Right.
meant to just plug into one to your phone. So you don't have that trailing cord. Yes, that's what it looks like.
Looks like about the
Cool.
size of a AA battery.
It's about twice as long. So they're pretty cool.
4 inches long. Yeah.
I'm curious how that compares to a full charge on a phone. If a phone was dead, would it? How long would you get off the fuel rod?
Well, the fuel rod would recharge the phone. So the phone thinks it's plugged into power.
Yeah,
Um,
but would it recharge it 1 or 2 or 3 times?
yeah, that's the question, and it should be answered in here somewhere. Let's see if I can find.
I see the price $45 to $50. The
And
other
that's
thing I saw said 10 to 35.
depending on how many you get.
Okay.
So if you want one of them, it's 30. Two of them, 60. Well, that makes sense. Three of them are 75. So that's the best savings.
Well, sorry to say that I cannot find the actual fuel rod, but it comes in a little plastic case when I initially bought it. And then inside are the little, can't turn it the right way here, are the little cable things in it. So you can carry the whole thing with you, with the battery and the cables and all the little things with it to attach to whatever. Now it makes me think, like, where is that fuel rod? Because it was pricey. I'm like, I don't want to lose it. But I found it very convenient instead of carrying a bigger power pack with my phone.
It says a single fuel rod can recharge a phone to about half.
Yeah. So again, you can, if you have time, like say, like I'm in the park or you're anywhere, if you have time, you can just bring something where you can actually plug into the wall, bring your charger for that, and then that will help too. But again, you have to find where you can do that. A lot of times, like the amusement parks, they don't really have a place so much where you can go
That's
and
kind of
just sit and plug in,
the
which is the point.
yeah, kind of the big thing about the fuel rod itself is the swapping it out at fuel rod kiosks.
But I will tell you, in Disney, there were only 2 to 3 kiosks in the whole park, in the Magic Kingdom, and
So
that
you have
is
to
a
know where they
huge
are, huh?
park. So you have to know where the locations are and if you're going to be near one when it starts to go. Because they look like vending machines. You just pop it in, you just set it in, you push a button, it rolls in, push another button, it pops out at the end with a new one. So again, it works great if you're near one of those kiosks. But again, if you're far piece away and you need it, now you're going out of your way to find that kiosk.
Yeah.
So
So
I think the choice is maybe 2 of them just to have, you could go back and forth and not be so worried about the time or walking back and forth. You could just have one full and then recharge it, replace it when you need it, and still have one full.
and
So that would be the optimal.
for longer use, there's this is the Anchor power bank that has a 10,000 milliamp battery. So
I think I have one of those.
that
So
can
it's a little bigger.
that can yeah, it's physically a little bigger, but it can recharge your phone completely twice.
So my reason why I got it was because it's so small.
Yeah.
And when you're carrying
That's
stuff
nice.
around, this one is very portable, and the bigger ones are heavier. And and if you're trying to carry less, then it's still a big, like a rock thing. So it just depends on if you have a backpack, you want to throw it in the backpack, whatever however your preference is. If you're someone like me who likes to take a lot of pictures, then I need the capacity to take a lot of pictures. But if you don't take a lot of pictures, you just do it every so often, then it's not a big deal. Or check your phone or whatever. So, anyways,
So this one is twice the capacity at 20,000 milliamp hours. Unfortunately, it's 3 times the price, but it can charge your phone completely 4 times. Can charge your computer completely 1.25 times. So that's something to take with you on the trips. The other thing we've noticed, especially at like air shows that we tend to go to, um, if you put your phone into battery saver mode, then it really makes the battery last because it's not constantly trying to get your mail or check for updates or connect to cell towers, which can really drain the battery. So we uh, used to have to charge your phone halfway through the day, turn on low power mode, and it lasts the whole day without needing recharged. A lot of times, even even when I take 1,000 photos a day at an air show.
Steve,
Yes,
when you take those 1,000 photos a day, where do you store them?
on the camera, I've got
Oh,
it.
that this you're not using a phone for that. You're
Uh,
using a digital camera.
yeah, I have a digital camera and a phone. So my digital camera, I've got a big um, 64 gig flash drive in it, so it can take 7,000 pictures on one
Oh,
one
okay,
one drive.
right.
And then when that's full, I take the phone, and then well, yeah, one of the advantages of the camera is you can take the card out when it gets full and put another one in and keep going.
Right.
But I've
This-
I've never filled up a card in one trip. Typically, at the end of that day, I go back to the hotel and dump it into the computer and empty the card off, so I can do it again the next day.
You,
That used to be like our vacations where we would both have cards and stuff, and he'd be sitting there for an hour, downloading everything. So he'd be all set for the next day to do it again. And then you come home at the end of vacation, you got thousands of photos that you're like, oh yeah, maybe I need to organize them before you even see what he took, And I'm like, oh, look at all the photos I did. Oh, look at all the ones you took. So it's
well,
not
I'm
quite
sorry.
like that anymore, at least for me. So
What the question I have then is, if you're dumping the SD card or flash drive or whatever it is into your computer, you're taking up a lot of storage space on your computer then, right?
Yeah, the laptop has a relatively small drive, but I have a 2 terabyte drive on my desktop at home. So when I get back home, everything gets dumped off the desktop.
Oh,
When
okay.
when I had a Mac Mini, I used to carry that with me and just plug into the TV at the hotel because that was my whole
yeah.
computer.
Um,
And then you can watch movies and whatnot on it too.
We had a lot of paraphernalia we had to bring with us on vacation. It
I
was a
believe
whole
it.
operation.
I believe it. What's occurring to me, I'm not really familiar with, for example, the Photos app on the Mac. I have not used that to organize and weed out stuff yet and so forth. So maybe what I'm thinking of is actually stuff that's already available. But what I was thinking is using AI to go through your photos and make sense of them.
There's already some of that built in for finding people and pets and places. It uses the GPS tag your phone puts on the um, photo to organize into like a big map of the world to show you where you took your photos.
Right. I just got the iPhone last year or something, and prior to that, I was using my iPad to take pictures, and it does not have cellular service, or far as I know, not doesn't have GPS location either. So so I have some photos that you know you don't know where I took them,
You can add a
but
location to them after the fact as well.
if I can figure it out,
Yeah.
right. Um, but
So
hopefully, if I use the phone to take pictures, it should be pretty clear about where they were taken. Am I correct?
yes.
Okay.
So I don't have too many photos on this computer. So most of them were taken right in the area. So there's the Geneseo Air Show. That's the Palmyra Air Show. So as I keep zooming in, it shows you, well, there was the cider picnic at the Buckland Lodge. So as I zoom in farther and farther, it shows me where the pictures were taken. What's this one up here?
I'm thinking that for some of the photos from my iPad where I don't know the location, I might be able to use Google Lens to see if it could come up with where the heck they were, you know?
Yep. And there's face detection built in, so it can find faces in your library, and then you can name them, so then you can find people by face. But one of the jokes is the only time you see the photos is when you watch them being imported to your computer.
Yeah.
I always intended to go back and look at all the photos, and I usually do, but sometimes it takes a while, and delete all of them that are blurry, or so since I take a lot of pictures of airplanes, there's um, empty sky, empty sky, a tail, a plane, a piece of a wing, and so if I delete all of the old stuff, eventually uh, you get rid of some of them. But I keep waiting to push 100,000 photos in my photo library. I'm at 93,000, I think.
You're kind of setting up a retirement project.
Yeah.
Back to my AI thought there, it would be interesting to use something to weed out photos that the AI, for example, thought were not particularly interesting or just not good photos and so on.
Out of focus, something like that.
And have it sort those into a folder through which you could then go and say, yes, get rid of it, or no, I actually want to keep that one, that kind of thing,
Yeah, so here's an ornithopter flying. It's a little blurry, but I don't have there's another one that's really blurry.
They flap their wings. Is that what happens?
Yep. Here, I don't have a video of that one on this computer. The motor is a real high-pitched scream, like it's screaming in pain. Some of the night shots. So if you pick a photo, there's a little I button for info.
Yeah.
That brings up an info window where you can assign a location. So you can add a location to that photo. I don't know if that info window is showing on the screen.
No.
But it so you can select a bunch of photos and add a location to it, and then it will show up in your map as as from that location. So if oops, that's too far. If I select all of these, for some reason I imported an air show. And that's the rocket show. There's the mix of airplanes and rockets. Now somebody at Apple has a annoying sense of humor. Photos that are taken here, it'll say Rochester Snowbelt, United States. Well,
yes.
F you.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to remind me. I know it's the Snowbelt here. This one, there's Dell and his big plane. He actually has a skeleton dressed as Death flying the airplane.
This all these planes and rockets and stuff remind me of in the news lately is what Ukraine is doing.
Yeah.
You're familiar with the tethers? They're sending up drones that have fiber optics that's in a cylinder, and it stays connected to the handler, and they fly it like up to 20 kilometers away. So you have this line of fiber optics 20 kilometers long connecting the drone to the controller. And they're talking about expanding it up to 50 or even 100 kilometers. Can you imagine how long? I saw the videos of places in Ukraine where it's all covered with these strings that it looks like spider webs all over the fields.
Yeah, because after the
And
drone reaches its target, what happens to the wire?
Well,
it's
it,
gone. You know, the
it's
drone blows up and the wire settles to the ground.
Yeah.
I saw a bird's nest where birds were taking fiber optic and building nests out of it.
Yeah.
cool.
Fiber wires covering the entire city.
Yeah, but can you imagine how thin these fiber optics are? So you got a canister that's bigger, a little bit bigger than a soup can, and it's got enough fiber optic to go 20 kilometers. You know, a whole lot of very, very fine stuff. I don't even know how you would make that stuff, but
Yeah, birds
they're
are
doing
building
it.
their nests.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, because
The
there's so
other
much
thing
radio
was,
jamming, they have to use fiber optic control.
The other thing was GMP, or the magnetic pulse. We might have talked about this before, but they're working on these devices that can knock down. A lot of the drones are not sent individually; they send them in swarms, and so you might have 50 or 100 drones all coming at one time, like a flock of birds, but a flock of drones. They got these EMP devices that can just knock them right out of the sky. And I saw a test where they sent 49 of them into the test area. They used the device, and all 49 just fell out of the sky. So lot happening in that area.
The Leonidas microwave
Yep,
energy
exactly.
weapon. Wasn't he the guy in 300?
Good chance. It's a Greek name, I would assume.
Yep.
I'm not sure exactly if he
Yeah, Warrior
had
King
any
of Sparta.
experience with drones.
No, that was Gerard Butler.
At the Battle of Thermopylae.
No, Butler's an Irishman.
Yeah.
No, he's Scottish.
Is he?
Yeah. He and Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, Scottish. He's born in Paisley. All right. Let's see if we go back to
With
pages.
Prince?
Yeah. So then we get to Charlie's issue with his scanner.
I can. I don't want to preempt that completely, but because it may bring to mind for people other kinds of accessories that might be using. Yeah, what the hell's the chip company? Intel software. In my case, fortunately, I have already scanned most of the photos I'm going to need to scan. And I'm probably like decades behind the rest of you people in terms of doing this. And the other thing is that if I understand this correctly, it will not become a problem until we have to go on, or until we go on Mac OS 28. But it does bring up some interesting questions. One is about that the Rosetta thing and the rest of it. Like I say, I may not need to use this thing anymore by the time it becomes difficult or whatever. Thank you.
Yeah, so if older devices are still using Intel applications, there was a translator built into the Mac OS called Rosetta 2, because if you remember, the original Rosetta was the OS 9 to OS 10 translator. So OS 9 was built on the original Mac architecture, and OS 10 was built on Unix, so completely different languages. So Rosetta was able to do that translation, which made the OS 9 to OS 10 translation work and the Motorola to Intel translation work. So now we're doing the Intel to Apple Silicon translation with Rosetta 2. When they discontinued Rosetta, and I forget what OS it was, the some of the stories were because there's a third-party licensing program that Apple didn't want to pay anymore for. So that's why they discontinued Rosetta, and maybe there's something similar happened with Rosetta 2. But
Why?
so they're pushing more. Well, pushing is maybe the wrong word. So the Apple Silicon has been out for many years now, and having the older technology will slow down the newer machines. So if you have something old that still uses an Intel code, Rosetta is going to keep working through OS 27, which should come out this fall for all of next year. Excuse me. And then in OS 28 is when, back up half a second. OS 27 is going to be Apple Silicon only. So if you have an Intel Mac, you won't be able to run OS 27. And if you have an Intel app, it will still run in OS 27, but won't run in OS 28. And so the crux of the matter was this Claude probably,
Yeah.
Charlie, yeah. So Epson's drivers only list compatibility up to OS 15, which is old. So yeah. So OS 16, and then Tahoe, but Epson would need to come up with new driver models, and it depends on how old the scanner is if they're going to update their software for old scanners. But we've talked in the past a couple of times about a program called ViewScan, which is also available for Windows and Linux to run older scanners. And so you have an option if you want to keep using your same scanner, you can buy ViewScan and keep using your old scanner. Let me see what the price of that is. Purchase. So ViewScan. Oh, it's a subscription. No. Okay, this is a subscription that gives you new features all the time. Or it's $90 for a one-time purchase. You could buy a pretty decent scanner though for $90, and it would, well, hopefully come with new software. So that's going to be a bigger and bigger thing now. When you buy something new, especially new hardware, you have to make sure of system compatibility with Apple Silicon if you have upgraded your computers to Apple Silicon. So it's potential that it wouldn't work. There were some very old scanners that even though they had a USB port on them, it was actually a parallel scanner from the ancient days with a USB to parallel adapter. And a lot of those programs didn't work when we went to, was it System 8 or System 9? There was another big change back in there, probably System 9, that started with the Carbon, which was the environment then. And so we sort of run into these problems every 10 to 15 years as there's a major hardware change. And so you don't have to panic just yet. It won't happen until OS 28. And so that gives you, another 2 years, well, a year and a half, because it usually comes out in the fall. And you can choose not to upgrade in order to keep using your old software. Now, the danger of not upgrading is you don't get the security patches and bug fixes. But
Right.
Apple typically supports the current OS and 2 versions old. So right now the current OS is 26, and the previous versions are 15 and 14. And in fact, when OS 26.5 came out with a ton of bug fixes, they also released patches for 15 and 14. So if you're still running OS 14, you're getting those patches. If you're running OS 13, you may not be. Although there were some critical patches. They actually updated OS 12 a while ago to update the security certificates so that you'd be able to go to web pages without still go to web pages without
Could
getting
I?
SSL errors. Yeah, Charlie, go ahead.
Could I be really lazy and ask you to take a little short diversion to an Epson website and see if they list a driver for that scanner that works with AMD or whatever it is, not AMD, ARM.
Yeah, let's go to here. P Epson. And then we will share that window instead. So that's a document scanner, not a flatbed scanner.
That's correct.
Yeah.
What it does is now that you got that up there, just keep the pictures for a second. The one you're on, the one your cursor's on,
Yep.
is as good as any. And that's exactly what you do. You stack the photos up on the top part, and it takes them down through one at a time and scans them.
Does it scan double-sided?
Yes, what you can do is it will. There's a thing where you can ask it to scan anything written on the back of a photo.
Yeah,
Uh,
because
and
that's
it
where a lot of
gives you
people write who that is.
exactly, and it you have a choice of very light writing versus very dark writing, or you can turn it off completely. And when you do it, when you scan, let's say just one photo, when it goes through, what comes up is the photo as is, and then it automatically does an enhancement to get rid of red eye and other stuff. But the enhanced photos are really, for the old crap I'm working with, they're really much better than my photos. They take photos that are barely, enjoyable or usable and make them useful.
Yeah.
So are they saying, yeah, it's the fast photo FF680W.
And they do have Tahoe drivers.
Well, I suppose that's why it's working. But when you go to Epson itself, do they talk about well, when you say yeah, Tahoe
Yeah,
is
we're at Epson. It's 26. That's the current version.
ARM, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
why?
good point. It's Tahoe compliant, but is it Apple Silicon compliant?
Yeah, because otherwise, why am I getting these notifications?
Yeah. Now you're using the Epson software,
I
probably.
would assume so.
Yeah.
Yes, right. I
So,
downloaded
yeah.
there's an app on the Mac
Yep.
that's you open up to do the management, the settings, and the organization of the photos.
Yep. Because you can also use the Apple app, and so that can also be a workaround. That if the Epson app quits working, you can use the Apple image capture app. It may
Apple.
it may not have as many of the fancy features as the Epson app. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong tab. Share this tab. Yeah, FF680 for Tahoe. So there's a plug-in for image capture. So you can try using the Apple app instead of the Epson app.
When it comes to that, it's quite probable that by the time this change takes place, I won't be using the thing at all.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I may have sold it to somebody with a PC or something that doesn't bothered by it. I don't know, but well, thanks for checking into that.
Yep. Well, Epson's okay. Epson says it's fully compatible, but then, yeah, why are you getting an error? So maybe one of the support applications is not, like my OBS, where it's telling me it's not compatible with future OSs, even though it says it's an Apple Silicon.
Help me with what the sub
So
packages would be or something.
the when you download the drivers, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of pieces of the driver.
Okay.
And it could be one of the extra apps. So there's the combo driver. Could be one of the other pieces that may not work.
All right.
Where if you look at the main app, it probably will say Apple Silicon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because there are one or two features that I see a reference to once in a while that I'm not using, that I'm not interested in at this point. But okay. Thank you.
Yep. I heard a ding. Was that somebody's hand going up?
I
Yes.
have no idea.
Charles.
Other Charles.
Other Charles, yeah. Go ahead, Charles. You got to unmute yourself.
Wish I could see all these people.
If I stop sharing, then it will open up and show everybody. Okay, Charles, you're still muted. You want to click the little microphone icon in the bottom center of the screen.
Why do I have this problem? Why is he pinned?
Yeah, if you pin somebody, their picture gets bigger. Then you have to unpin them.
I've got Bob Hoey pinned at this point, and he looks great, but it's not who's talking right now. So I don't know how to unpin him and get. I'm trying to get the whole.
Point to the center of the video window, and you'll see a pin icon that you can and unpin.
Yep. Thank you. All right, I got everybody, and there's Charles Lenhart, but he is still muted.
Still muted, yeah.
What is this pinning?
If you point to the center of a video window, there's three icons. There's a pin. Well,
yeah,
you might have more because I'm the admin. There's a pin that will pin that video window and make it bigger, and so it won't go away when that person stops talking.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a mute microphone to mute that person.
Right.
Steve, can you, from your end of things, unmute Charles Leonard?
No, I can mute people, but I can't unmute people.
Really?
Yeah.
I suppose I could try to use the chat to tell him he's muted, huh?
Well, he should be hearing us.
Unless he's not hearing us either.
Yeah.
Which would be strange, but...
Wave at you if you hear everybody.
He's swearing under his breath.
There you go. I also don't know in this Google Meet thing how to send a message to one person.
Yeah, you open the chat window. There's a people window. And then you can...
There you go.
We're putting everything we love out on the road. And that's why we'll always try to...
Interesting. So that's different than the chat window.
Go out back, built to achieve the highest safety ratings possible.
I don't see a way to send it to one person.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
I know. Well, thank you. I feel better.
Show all people.
America's #1 anti-aging foundation brings Simply Ageless Skin Protector Essence. Hair and makeup together, first and good.
Of course, the next question is whether the chat will show up on his screen or just as a little thing down on the bottom or up in the corner or something
It
where,
shows up quickly and then goes away. And then there's a dot in the chat window.
all
All
right,
right.
he's just sent something to us.
He found the emoji. So left of that, about 2 or 3 icons left of that is a microphone icon to unmute yourself.
I see Charlie's message, that's all.
Right. I don't know whether Mr. Lenhart is on a Mac or on an iPad or what. Well, he's
Looks
nodding.
like
Maybe he's on a Mac.
Command D will also, as a keyboard equivalent, turn the microphone on and off.
Now you're getting all fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the microphone icon is at the left end of the row of icons on the bottom of the screen.
In the center, yep.
But his tile is still showing him as muted.
Yeah, hold on the command key and hit the D. That will unmute it also. So it doesn't mind.
So mom uses Chewy to get his flea and tick meds at a great price. Delivered fast, right to their door. For quality meds, for life with pets, there's Chewy.
Well, let's see.
I don't.
Do you see the little microphone icon? No? Okay. It's near the emoji icon.
In an extreme case, sometimes you have to leave the meeting and then come back again. Something gets stuck like that.
Are you on an Apple device? Are you on an iPhone? Are you on a computer? A laptop? A desktop?
You're asking questions. How are you getting responses?
Because he's shaking his head.
It's working great.
He's on a Mac computer.
Also indicates to us that he can hear us.
Yeah.
I'm not on a computer.
I don't know why.
Can we tell him the line is through the microphone?
Yeah. And he's got to click the microphone to turn the mic back on again.
Right.
Take away the pink and make it black. Kind of backwards from other things. Other things light it up when it's on. Like Zoom.
Puts his pointer under the icons at the bottom. It will tell him that it's the microphone.
It could be he never oh yeah. When you open
Yep.
Google Meet, you have to give it permission to use your microphone.
Yep.
So like we had to give permission to the help wire to let me in. You have to give Google permission. Now can we do that on a one-time thing?
So maybe you could log out and come right back.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, don't know if it'll ask again.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it will, I think.
Will it? Okay.
Especially if you quit Chrome completely and then come back in.
That, yeah, another question. Are you on Chrome or Safari? Using Safari? Using Chrome. Okay. Yeah, if you go to the Chrome menu and go to settings. Let me see if this is a faster way to get to it. Settings, and then type microphone. That will take you to the site settings pane. Actually, I can show you the screen. Settings. So share settings. So typing microphone gets me to site settings. And then under site settings, there is a microphone option as to what sites can use your microphone. And you want to allow this website. Yeah, so sites can ask to use your microphone.
Let's take this fuel away from the fire. Tracy, take Mr. Walker upstairs right now to avoid another round of this mess.
So that might be what the problem was. If there was a way to get to it. Oh, okay, there we go. In your URL bar, which I can't show on the screen, to the left of where it says meet.google.com, there's a little camera icon before you get to the home icon. And if you click on that, you can turn on your microphone. Or you can type your question into the chat window. Well,
Yeah.
then you got to find the chat button, which is on the right-hand side of the bottom of the screen. While he's looking for that, anybody else have any questions?
Well, I've got a device here I can show to you quick.
Sure.
For Christmas, I got this very nice, let's see if I can get it so that you can see it here. That's a FLIR 1 camera. It's an infrared camera. Looks like it's backwards. And what it does is it measures infrared radiation. So you can point it at anything and it'll tell you the temperature. So let me turn that around. Let's see if we can see that.
So are you looking for
pointed at
ghosts
me.
now?
You see my
Paranormal activity?
I haven't looked for paranormal yet. No.
Your glasses are UV blocking.
Yeah, well, they're at least heat blocking, right? So I look like an alien.
Are you a cat?
So this.
So you see the temperature there reading? Of course, it's backwards.
It's too fuzzy.
It's
Might have
fuzzy.
to move it down. Move it down a little.
Here, I'll
Move it
try
down.
to move
Down
it
a little.
closer.
Down.
It can't focus that close.
Abba.
It's right in the center
Yeah,
of the screen.
we can see a fuzzy blob. The text is too fuzzy because it's too close.
Okay. So this is the FLIR device is coupled with your phone by
With my phone, yeah.
Bluetooth. Is that it or what?
It uses Bluetooth and your local network, if you want to use that. But you can, take it remote, take it anywhere. I took pictures of Carol's tires when she was having issues with her brakes.
It was my
And we were able to determine that they were overheating. So the consequence of that ended up being that she bought a new car.
That's one way to replace your brakes.
Yeah. But there's a lot of different settings on it, and you can set up different color schemes too. It's quite complex, and it was fairly inexpensive. I think a little over $100. So that's kind of fun, and you can use it to check your house for heat leakage and that type of thing as well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can. Does it show through people's clothing? Because their underwear,
It does a bit, yeah.
is hotter than their outerwear.
We discovered that when we pointed it at Carol, that it kind of showed her through her clothes there.
The guy I worked with had one of the early Sony, and I won't even know what to call it. It was a camera, a digital camera, something like that, and it had that infrared capability. And after people found out about it, Sony removed that or something like that, because you could, get pictures of naked people with their clothes on.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing that I picked up this a few weeks ago is this thing. It's a basically an endoscopic camera.
Oh, Bob had one of those for ears.
Yeah, so you can use it for that, and they're fairly inexpensive. Around $30 or so on Amazon.
Are you looking for gold under the big rocks at Oak Island?
Well, yeah, I was thinking that it's great for Oak Island. So
I want to know what happened. They went under that big rock and they said they saw pearl and gold, and when they lifted the rock, they never
that's not
talked
what that
about
was.
It's like fake. No.
They keep talking about it.
So this is maybe a little amateur archaeology here with some of these devices, huh? What's down that hole?
Yeah.
Maybe there's something
So you
under
can see
there.
it's got a light on it at the end of it, so that can light up. There's little LEDs. So useful for getting into hard to see places, so you can tell what's going on.
And you plug that into your phone or what?
You can plug it either into your iPhone or into your iPad, and make sure you get the right model. This particular one is a USB-C, and there's others out there that are the old Lightning type connector, but the new USB-C, works with the newer devices, obviously.
Is there a brand name on it?
Yes, it's called Tesla Inspection Camera, and you can look for that on Amazon.
How do you spell it, please?
I got it. TESLONG. And this is a model number NTC200AF. It's a flexible inspection camera. The resolution is 920 by 1080.
Yeah,
which is pretty good.
Generically, they're called a boroscope. And there's not window, Chrome tab. There's a bunch of companies that sell them.
Yeah, if you go to the Amazon site, Steve, you can show it off there.
Yep. And they're not that expensive. So yours was Tesla?
Yeah, Tesla. Look for model number NTC200AF.
So this one has a 5-foot cord, 6-foot cord. There's one that has a 50-foot cord. Oh, that one's got a mount, so you have a handy grip for your phone. Let's see, articulating boroscopes. No. Well, they use them in NASCAR to see if the car brakes are overheating.
That's right. And they can see the temperature of the tires as well.
Yeah.
So should we replace them?
Now I'm getting confused because Rick has talked about two devices, one of which was an infrared sensor thing, and now there's this Tesla thing or whatever it is, which is looks to be a visual spectrum device. Am I correct?
Yes. But
well, the one I was showing off it is not the IR one, but
okay, there's an IR version there.
Yeah. Go to Amazon.
I am.
And then you can find my particular model.
Yep, I'm on the
Yeah.
Teflon
Well,
homepage
you're
at
in
Amazon.
their specific thing. Just
I'm in
go
there.
back to generic Amazon.
Just finding a bunch of different ones.
Maybe type
Whoops.
in something more basic. Um,
What was the full model number again?
it is NTC 200AF.
It's 200 SF.
No,
AF for
it's
autofocus.
NTC. Yeah, there
Yep.
you go. Yeah, that's the one. Yep. So $33.53.
Now you need a grabber. So that's a show on the Animal Planet about a veterinarian that goes to different stores with an endoscope, and so he puts the camera down the pet's throat to find what the hell they swallowed, which is the name of the show. My pet swallowed what? And then he has a
Mm-hmm.
second tool that goes in with little gripper hands that pull it out.
Now this is nice because it's a 16.5 foot long cord,
Yeah, so you have a long cord
so
to.
you can
Yep.
Do they
pipe.
anesthetize the dogs first or what?
Generally, yeah.
Because I would throw up.
Yep. There was one that they pulled out like 7 or 8 socks.
Oh my God.
Oh, and like little bungee cord hair ties. Cats love those. There was one cat, they had like 20 of them that swallowed.
Jesus. And Rick is muted if he
Yep.
is trying to say anything.
Looks like he's. Is he done? Or are you pointing at something?
It also came with this little thing, which is a tiny little mirror. Whoops, there it goes. Guess I should have left it in there. And it goes on the end, and so that you can look at 90 degrees as well. It's very tiny. See, I could see it there for a second. Get it to resolve.
Yeah.
There, you see it's a mirror?
Do you have a background replacement running?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Sometimes it has hard time not replacing that bit. Yeah, that is tiny. I'd lose that right off.
Yeah. So another fun toy to play with.
Yeah.
For you or your cat?
For me. You wouldn't want to use it on your cat, believe me.
Alrighty, so it's about 10 o'clock.
Yep.
Anyone
I have to leave.
Any poker tournaments coming up, Bob?
I don't play tournaments much anymore. They're limited. I play poker every week, but it's always cash games, which are distinct from tournaments. Cash games, you sit down, you're playing against people at the table.
Tournament guys get too good.
But tournaments, you enter, and then it's elimination. Tournaments are more demanding on your time, because if you're going to win, you might be there for 2 days or 3 days, for the finals and so on. So
Wow.
I just play cash games. I can sit down when I want and get up when I want, and that's it.
So how often do you win?
About as much as I lose. I'm kind of a break-even player at this point.
Okay.
Are you going to be doing green apples this week?
Not yet, but I haven't given up on the idea. But probably it won't be until June.
Okay.
We're hanging in there, Bob.
Yep. I'm gonna roll. See you next time. See you next week.
All right. Very good.
Okay. Bye bye.
All right, everybody.
Okay. Good night.
Well, take us out, Shirley.
All right. See you next week. Hopefully it's 85 and sunny. We'll see.
Steve, thank you very much.
Yep, you're very welcome.
Everybody have a good night. See you sometime.
All righty.